I suppose you could say you make work to see yourself, so the reflection of yourself. That's how you see yourself or place yourself in the world, is through your work. I'm not really thinking about creating at all. It's a habit as much as anything else. I just do it all the time. I do it every day. I always do something, even if I just stare at a canvas. You need to start it somehow to kind of break that silence of the white surface. But ultimately, it's about imposing something on that. So the thing that you create is really its own self, it's its own world. It's coming from something. I think it's that. It's trying to paint that thing that you can't see. I'm interested in this idea that if we were to come back here in a week's time and we wore the same clothes and maybe it's the same kind of weather, it would look exactly the same, but a week's gone past. And how do you paint that passage of time? How do you kind of represent that change, that movement in something that's static? Well, the only evidence of that is the surface of things. You know, you get dust or whatever, scratch, scuff. It's not moving, but it's got that history of time going by. It's not just to do with the image. There is something in the making of it, the putting together of the thing, that either makes it work or not. As a child, I lived in Canada. I was born in Britain, but we emigrated to Vancouver. And when we first came back, we went to Blackpool, but the surrounding area has quite a lot of old houses, old kind of properties. And I'd never been in somewhere which was very old. In Canada, everywhere was brand new or 20 years old. So to go to somewhere which would be like a great big house, which was very dark, very old, was so unlike anywhere I'd been. It sounds like a coy thing to say, but it was so different, and it really did kind of captivate me. But I think in all these things, there's something within you which, I don't know, is unfathomable as to why you pick up on something. I like being in large spaces. I like that sense of it being like an environment around you. There was a building in the middle of Madrid that was this amazing looking old building that was derelict. And I said to somebody, "Oh, how come that's not being used right in the centre of the town?" They said, "Oh, it's haunted." It was a very intriguing looking building. And when I came back, I had a real thought of what it would be like inside this place. I hadn't been in it, but I just envisaged what it might look like. And at the same time, I read a poem by Burns, which is called "On Seeing a Wounded Hare Go By." So I had to put together this image of this wounded animal and this interior based on this notion of a ghost or a spirit or an atmosphere of a place. So it was a coming together of things which really had no apparent relationship to each other. I've used different images over my painting career, from animals to still life to landscape, but in a way I feel they're all related to each other. Although they are all different images, what they're about is that pursuit of that thing that's just out of the corner of your eye. It's not the thing itself, it's a vehicle for an idea.